Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview on a Wednesday, hump day, middle of our trading week, April 20th, 2016. Traders, great to be with you, coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Bright blue sunny skies, white sandy beaches, and nice blue waters. It is early in the morning, currently in Thailand. It is 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and that would be 20:30 on Wall Street. Traders is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Please come visit our website at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Sorry about that little bleep there in the background there. That was my news feed. All right, traders, we've got a lot to talk about today. Go over some charts, a little bit of news data came out from Japan today. We'll take a look at that, and we'll go over that in our review. And we have 6 currency charts to go over today, and little change in markets yesterday, huh? Everything looks like it's on the rebound to the other side. But some interesting stuff coming around the corner. All right, for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator for the market opening preview series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I will tell you that I do record this during the Asia session. Therefore, if you're going to take a look at this at London, you just need to go back about 10 to 12 candles, and you can see where I started the presentation. Traders, I've been trading since the year of 2006, and in 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. 9 days later, I came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday to celebrate my retirement. And, well, traders, I'm in my 9th year here in Thailand, and absolutely loving it. Can't beat the food, the people, and most of all, the time zone. If you're going to trade Forex, Asia's a place to be. Early in the morning, trade Asia. Afternoon, trade London. Evening, night, trade New York. I only trade New York for about 2 to 3 hours. Of course, then it comes up to about 11 o'clock, depending on what time of year it is. And I still get a good night's rest. And it's just great. You know, modern technology gives us iPads and iPods and iPhones and Androids and all this stuff that you can be on the run with. However, I will tell you that I do make my trades from my office with my main computer because I want to make sure that I have everything in line, and I have multiple screens and all that stuff, and it's really hard to make entries on a trade off of an iPhone. I can monitor a trade on the iPhone or the iPad, but to do a trade on it is a little complicated. I look at a lot of things before I make my trade, and I'm always looking for 4 reasons to get in, and 3 are acceptable, and I'm looking for 4 reasons to get out, and 3 are acceptable. So I look at a lot of different things. I'm a technician. I love looking at charts. I love looking at price action, price structure, price failure, support and resistance, and of course candlestick patterns. Candlestick patterns tell us a story, and it helps you a lot in your trading. And of course, levels. What are your price levels at? What's your price action doing? So important in your trading today, especially in the sentiment of the market. This is a scalper's market. Scalpers are, for the last 6 months, are probably just doing high fives when they sleep. I mean, it's just really a scalping market. If you're in trades for a long time, position trading, it's tough, man. It's not easy. Even swing trading is tough. If you're in a trade for 1 or 2 days, you can really get whipsawed around. And this has been a scalper's market for quite a while. I do listen to fundamentals. I pay for a news feed. I do listen to fundamentals all day long. I know what's going on around the world. It's so important. We're macro traders, and we trade the globe. We just don't trade one currency pair. So we need to know what's going on all over, because it does affect our trading one way or another, of course, depending on what currency pair you're trading or currency pairs you might be trading. So that's just a little bit about myself. Let's get over to the risk disclaimer, and this keeps the legal people happy. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex market. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Meaning, if you're on a demo account for 3 months and you finally have enough capital to open a live account, your trading is going to change, and that PL box is going to change, because now you know your hard-earned money is on the line, and you have risk. And capital preservation is the name of the game. Money management, capital preservation, live to trade for tomorrow, right? So important. It's probably the biggest and the most important in trading, capital preservation. All right, let's get a move on. Let's take a look at news and commentary. Got a little bit to talk about here, so this might be a little long-winded, but let's take a look. The Dow 30 closed up 0.27%. The S&P 500 closed up 0.31%. The Nasdaq was negative 0.40%. Remember, it's earnings season right now on the U.S. stock market, and earnings reports have really made an impact on how our indices are doing. But pretty interesting as the dollar regained some strength late in the New York session. So let's head on over to the Eurozone, and the DAX closed positive 2.27%, with the FTSE 100 closing positive 0.82%. The CAC 40 out of Paris was positive 1.32%, and the Eurostoxx 50 closed positive 1.53%. Yeah, we saw that early in London yesterday that the DAX was on the move up, and it just did not stop, just kept on going and going and going, and was just relentless and closed very well. The Nikkei 225, let's head on over to Asia. The Nikkei 225 is up, currently trading at 0.81%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is also positive 0.69%, with the China A50 due to open in about 1 hour, closed positive 0.21%, and the Hang Seng out of Hong Kong, which is not trading right at the moment, opens in about 1 hour, closed positive 1.30%. And the Kospi out of Seoul, which is currently trading, is up 0.43%. Trace, let's take a look at the economic calendar. We did have some data come out in Asia today. Unfortunately, was not a lot of market movement in that. Let me find that little bad boy. Okay, there we go. We had trade balance come out of Japan today, and I would have to say that the trade balance came out negative at $755 billion. They were expecting $835 billion, so that was a bad read on that. However, their other numbers weren't that bad. Really, their numbers were pretty much in line with expectations. They were expecting this decline on the adjusted trade balance. It came in at 0.28. It was expected 0.45. Imports came in great, negative 14.9. Consensus was negative 16. And exports came in really well, came negative 6.8. They were consensus was negative 6.9. So, if you take a look at the whole thing and you look at the percentages of how this worked out, it was slightly lower than expected. If you round the whole thing off and take a look at the whole thing as a group, just barely. I mean, nothing was really out of whack that much, and that's why we had no price action on our yen pairs or Aussie pairs today. We didn't see anything going on there. There's no more data in Asia other than that. We did have the dairy numbers come out late yesterday in the U.S. session, and they did come out good. I don't have the numbers in front of me. However, I did read, and the dairy numbers did come out good this month. However, today in London, we have the Great British Pound as average earnings coming out. Also, unemployment rate for February, and the high impact data is climate count change for March. That's a high impact news event coming out in our London session today. Really quite a slow day. We have in the U.S. session, we have some high impact news. We have existing home sales for March. That comes out today, and we have existing home sales month on month comes out today. It's medium impact. And of course, every Wednesday we have our crude oil inventories, which I'm sure the people who trade the crude will be watching closely, and that will come out at 22:30 in Thailand, and that will be 9:30 a.m. on Wall Street. All right, that is it. That's what's going on in the economic calendars and our indices. Well, what's my commentary for today? Well, it's a very interesting market. I mean, if you're trading Forex, as it is work, and that's why we do it, you have to have a little bit of fun, and price action has been really wild. I think the big news is that, one, oil is really taking the front seat in our price action over the last 2 weeks and continues to do so. And secondly, the dollar is making news as it came above 94 yesterday. late in the New York session, and that's why we see a lot of these pairs heading to the opposite side with dollar strength because of that. And again, remember, earnings season makes an impact in our trading. It affects the markets. And as much as, I don't trade stocks. However, I do trade options in the U.S. market, but I don't trade stocks. So, well, I guess I do trade stocks. I just trade them in options, not, bear stocks. So, and it does make a difference in our Forex trading. So we have to keep an eye on that. I think we're going to have a very good day today. I think it's going to be very interesting. We have ECB President Draghi, I think, speaks today, and also Thursday this week, we have the ECB meeting and news press conference, and we're not expecting anything new coming out or any surprises. We think everything's going to maintain the same, even though they're saying they do have room to lower interest rates. We don't expect anything to happen this week, but anytime the ECB talks, price action moves. So keep that in mind. I don't care who it is. If you're in charge of a central bank, Janet Yellen from the FOMC talks, price action moves. It's just the way it is. Even if they say nothing, right? Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Euro dollar had an up day yesterday, and you can see in New York how it just, came back down because of earnings report, and also that the dollar index went above 94. Really simple trade plan today. I'm bearish in the euro dollar. I don't want to buy the euro dollar. If this goes up from the daily pivot, well, it's going to go without me because I'm not going to counter trend the euro dollar. I'm dollar bullish. So I want this to close below the daily pivot point, and we'll try to get in at 1.1343, and we'll get out at the S2 reversal pivot point at 1.1267. So, a nice 65 pip trade here. Depending that it works, and we just need some dollar strength in here. We have some, there's reason for price to move today. We have a moderate amount of data coming out, and I think this trade can work out fine. But I also think that we could get this bouncing as we have a 55 exponential moving average just underneath the daily pivot. So we'll just keep an eye on that. And if you take a look at the Great British Pound dollar, we're basically in the same situation here. It's basically the same exact trade plan. Other than we're going to get out at the 200 exponential moving average at 1.4259. We want to get in at 1.4349. So if the trade plan works, right, we're looking at a 100 pip trade here on the pound. So this is a really nice trade plan. However, we're sideways. And, the Great British Pound has a lot of data coming out today. So it has reason to make some moves. And, if that data comes out bad, it's going to cause this to fall, right? It's going to cause some dollar strength's going to take over. And we'll just keep an eye on that. Other tool that you can use also is the euro pound. As I use that as a tool, right? Those are the two biggest liquidity pairs in the London session. So use that as a tool or trade it. If you wish to trade it. But I don't trade the euro pound. I do use it as a tool. So it's just something to look at as a reference before you make an entry. So easy trade plan for the pound dollar. The hard part is all the data that's coming out, and just be careful with that. Let's take a look at the Aussie. This news came out today out of the yen pairs, and the trade balance data came out, and no reaction. These charts are all taken after that data came out, and there was no reaction. Folks, I'm bearish in the Aussie dollar today. I know I keep going back and forth. However, the pair is bullish. And I do think this has a good chance to fall today. However, my trade plan is to stay with the higher time frames, and the higher time frames are bullish. So I'm looking for this to bounce off this daily pivot. Or, as you can see, I placed a Fibonacci tool on the chart. I wouldn't mind if this came down to the 61.8, and that's at 0.7761. And we can take this back to the upside. And we'll take that all the way back up to the R2 reversal pivot point at 0.7869. So, we do have some trade plans that are pretty interesting. We just might get a bounce here, folks. We might get a bounce off this daily pivot, and you have to make that decision if you want to take that trade there and not wait for it to come back down to the 618 Fibonacci level. I like to work with fibs. I really enjoy fibs. They really they work. That's the bottom line. I'm not the only one looking at this fib level. There are many traders looking at it. However, there are many traders watching this daily pivot and the 55 or the 50 exponential moving average. That's used a lot. And so we have a reason for it to bounce and continue to the upside. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Aussie. The Euro Aussie is bearish, 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 bearish. So I'm looking, to take this to the downside. A little concerned here. The 55 exponential moving average is curled upward. So I'm looking for this to give us a pullback to the R2 at 1.4627, and we'll get out basically where we're at now at 1.4548. I really do not want to sell this here, right? We don't want to sell, at support, and we're at support, and I don't want to sell this. Even if it breaks the daily pivot, I'd have to reassess a new trade plan. But if it closes below the daily pivot, it's a whole different trade plan. But right at the moment, I'm looking for the pullback, and then we can sell this. But I really do not look to take any action at this price level. And the nice thing about the Euro Aussie is it doesn't move a lot of pips every day, and it's good about pullbacks. So I think this trade plan is very valid, and I think we have a good chance with this. I love trading this pair. It's a really awesome pair to trade. All right, let's take a look at the Euro Yen. Again, I'm bearish in the Euro Yen. However, the yen is weakened. Why is the yen weakened? The yen is weakened because yesterday a lot of people from the cabinet, the JPYs out of the yen, decided to get on microphones yesterday. And they were all saying, listen, we still have tools in the toolbox, and intervention is not, off the table. Everything's on the table, and we'll do everything we can and anything we have to do to control the FX. So, what that's telling us is that last week or a week, 10 days ago, Kuroda said there was no intervention, and now we're hearing that, listen, everything's still open and there's no definites, and they're going to do whatever they need to do to control the strength of the yen. So we just need to be aware of that. My trade plan is to sell this. I think the yen is still going to be very strong. And I'm expecting this to drop below the daily pivot in the 55 EMA. We'll get in this at 123.75. We'll get out at 123.21. Nice 50 pip trade. We're not looking to rob the bank, right? We just want a piece of it. We don't want the whole bank. We just want a piece of it, folks. We are in scalp mode. We're only in the trade for 2 or 3 hours, and we're going to move on, right? We're not staying in trades for 5 days or 6 days anymore. Those days are done. We are only in a trade for intraday. Okay. Let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Yes, I am still bearish on the New Zealand dollar, and you're saying, William, you've got to be out of your mind. Look at this up move. You're right. The New Zealand really picked up as a great up move, but if you look at the daily chart, this pair is still bearish, folks. It's still a bearish pair. It has not taken out any significant levels, and this is not because the Kiwi is strong. This is because the dollar is weak. So this pair is all about the dollar, and I'm hoping that the dollar index continues to stay in the 94 price range, and even goes higher today. And this just drops like a rock. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to enter this at 0.700. I know it's a psychological area. That's probably not the best place to take the trade, but I have confidence that that's going to work. Confidence in trading, that's what it's all about. If it doesn't work and it bounces from here, well, it's okay. It can go up and I'll just wait. That's the nice thing about trading. It's boring. We sit and wait a lot. Looking to take profit at 0.6946. We're only looking at a 52 pip trade here today. And like I said, I just want a piece of it and try to get in and take off 40 or 50 pips and get out, right? So I am still bearish on the New Zealand dollar. So that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. Yes, we're over time today. Lots to talk about, a lot of stuff going on. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for joining me on a Wednesday, hump day, middle of our trading week, April 20th, 2016. Traders, please come visit us at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, always remember to trade smart and not hard, and we'll catch you in about 24 hours. Take care, traders. Have a good one. See you now. Bye-bye.